The Beatles weren't just a band, they were a cultural revolution. They transformed popular music into art, pioneered studio experimentation, and mirrored the societal changes of the 1960s, from teenage love to political awakening and spiritual exploration. With over 600 million records sold, the Beatles are considered the most influential band of all time. Top 3 songs by the Beatles and what they mean. 1. Hey Jude in 1968. Written by Paul McCartney. Written for John Lennon's son, Julian Jude, during his parents' divorce, this song became a universal message of comfort, hope, and emotional healing. With its uplifting message, take a sad song and make it better, it became an anthem of empathy and resilience. The extended Na-Na-Na coda has united stadiums full of people in catharsis for decades. 2. Let It Be in 1970. Inspired by a dream of McCartney's late mother, Mother Mary, the song is a spiritual message of acceptance and peace. It doesn't push religion but leans on inner wisdom and serenity. Released during the band's breakup and global unrest, it became a timeless reminder to trust the process of life, even through chaos. 3. Yesterday in 1965. A deeply melancholic reflection on lost love and longing, this song is about regret and the emotional aftermath of a breakup. It became the most covered song in history, over 2,000 versions, proving how universal the feeling of heartbreak and nostalgia truly is. The Beatles' music evolved from catchy pop-rock love songs in the early 1960s to groundbreaking, experimental compositions that redefined modern music. They explored themes of love, peace, self-discovery, social change, and personal introspection, blending genres like rock, pop, classical, Indian, psychedelic, and blues. Their songs were not just entertainment, they became soundtracks for a generation, promoting messages of hope, unity, and artistic freedom. Pink Floyd wasn't just a rock band, they were architects of sound and emotion, weaving music into an experience that felt like stepping into another world. Formed in London in the mid-1960s, they pushed beyond the limits of rock with their haunting lyrics, experimental sounds, and immersive concepts, becoming the voice of a generation searching for meaning in a chaotic world. Their masterpiece, Comfortably Numb, is a soaring blend of vulnerability and escape. With David Gilmour's iconic guitar solo, it tells the story of detachment, how people sometimes numb themselves from pain, yet in doing so lose touch with life's beauty. For listeners, it became both a warning and a mirror of modern society's disconnection. Wish You Were Here carried a quieter, aching message. Written in memory of former bandmate Syd Barrett, it became an anthem for absence, longing, and the human need for connection. Fans felt it in their bones, whether missing a loved one or feeling unseen in a crowded world, it reminded them of the fragile threads that tie us together. Then there, Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, the anthem that thundered through classrooms and streets alike. With its famous line, "We don't need no education," it wasn't rejecting learning but condemning systems that crush creativity and individuality. For countless young people, it was a cry of rebellion and freedom, urging them to think for themselves. Through these songs and more, Pink Floyd didn't just entertain, they taught the world to question conformity, to confront alienation, and to find meaning in both the pain and beauty of existence. Their music became less of a soundtrack and more of a journey, one that still guides listeners through the darker corners of life, showing that even in the shadows, there's a profound kind of light. Led Zeppelin was a legendary English rock band formed in 1968, made up of Robert Plant vocals, Jimmy Page guitar, John Paul Jones bass keys, and John Bonham drums. Often called the pioneers of hard rock and heavy metal, their music blended blues, folk, and mysticism, pushing rock into new creative territory. Their sound was powerful yet poetic, filled with themes of freedom, myth, and raw human emotion. Top 3 best songs of Led Zeppelin. 1. Stairway to Heaven. Often hailed as their masterpiece, this song moves from a soft, mystical ballad to a soaring rock anthem. Lyrically, it explores spirituality, materialism, and the search for meaning in life. For listeners, it feels like a journey of self-discovery, inviting them to reflect on deeper truths beyond worldly possessions. 2. Whole Lotta Love. Built on one of the most iconic guitar riffs ever, this track is primal, sensual, and unapologetically raw. Its meaning centers on desire and passion, and for listeners, it captures the fiery, untamed spirit of rock and roll itself. 3. Kashmir. A hypnotic epic with exotic rhythms and haunting lyrics, Kashmir represents both a physical and spiritual journey. It's about exploration, wonder, and the pull of distant, mysterious lands. To listeners, it embodies Led Zeppelin's adventurous spirit, pushing beyond musical and cultural boundaries. Led Zeppelin's music carried a universal message of freedom, rebellion, and transcendence. They encouraged listeners to embrace passion, imagination, and self-expression. By blending hard-hitting rock with mystical storytelling, they didn't just create songs, they created experiences that inspired generations to dream bigger, break rules, and seek their own stairway to heaven. Queen wasn't just a rock band, they were a spectacle, a fusion of power, theater, and pure emotion. Formed in the early 1970s, Freddie Mercury, Brian May, Roger Taylor, and John Deacon carved out a sound that was larger than life. Rock anthems that felt like operas, blending glam, hard rock, and a sense of grandeur that few could rival. Their crown jewel, Bohemian Rhapsody, was unlike anything before it, a 6-minute epic with no chorus, operatic harmonies, and a dramatic shift from ballad to hard rock. It spoke to inner conflict, identity, and freedom, becoming a timeless anthem of self-expression. Then came We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions, two songs released together echoing like twin battle cries. The first, a stomp and clap declaration of unity, gave listeners the sense that they were part of something unstoppable. The second, a triumphant ballad, became the anthem of victory worldwide, from stadiums to personal triumphs. Queen's theme was clear: life is meant to be lived boldly, unapologetically, and with heart. Their music taught listeners that individuality is power, struggle can lead to glory, and art can be both playful and profound. They weren't just a band, they were a reminder that music can turn life itself into theater. U2, formed in Dublin in the late 1970s, rose from a group of school friends to one of the most powerful voices in rock. Known for Bono's soaring vocals, The Edge's shimmering guitar, and their socially conscious lyrics, U2 didn't just make music, they made statements. Their songs became anthems of hope, faith, and unity in a world often divided. Top 3 songs. With or Without You, a haunting ballad of love, longing, and emotional struggle. Listeners connected deeply with its vulnerability, finding their own stories of passion and pain reflected in it. 1. Born out of band tensions, it transformed into a global anthem of unity and reconciliation. To listeners, it carried the message that despite differences, humanity is tied together as one. Where the Streets Have No Name, inspired by a vision of a place without barriers of class or religion, this song gave hope to listeners yearning for freedom, peace, and belonging. U2's music is about more than entertainment, it's a bridge between personal emotion and global consciousness. They speak to love and loss while also calling for justice, peace, and togetherness. To the world, U2 became a reminder that music can inspire change, heal wounds, and lift people closer to hope. The Rolling Stones, formed in London in 1962, are often called the world's greatest rock and roll band. Known for their swagger, rebellious energy, and blues-driven sound, they became the voice of youthful defiance and raw emotion. Top 3 songs. I Can't Get No Satisfaction, an anthem of frustration and desire. It captured the restless spirit of the 1960s generation yearning for meaning beyond consumerism and routine. Paint It Black, with its dark sitar-driven sound, it spoke to grief, loss, and the darker corners of the human experience, resonating with those facing turmoil in a changing world. Angie, a tender ballad of heartbreak and longing, it showed the Stones' softer side, connecting with listeners through vulnerability and love lost. The Rolling Stones' music was a mix of rebellion, passion, and truth-telling, whether raging against conformity, mourning pain, or celebrating love and lust. To the world, they symbolized freedom, rock and roll spirit, and the courage to live unapologetically. Nirvana was the band that turned the quiet frustrations of a generation into a global roar. Formed in the late 80s by Kurt Cobain and Chris Novoselic, their raw energy and grunge sound from Seattle changed rock forever. They weren't polished or flashy, they were brutally honest, and that's what made them legendary. Their anthem Smells Like Teen Spirit became the battle cry of the 90s youth, capturing feelings of rebellion, boredom, and the need to break free from conformity. Come As You Are spoke directly to individuality and acceptance, reminding listeners that flaws and differences are what make us human. And Lithium painted a picture of inner struggles, swinging between despair and hope, reflecting the fragile balance many face in their mental battles. Nirvana's music was never just about sound, it was about truth. They gave voice to the unheard, to the disillusioned, to those who felt life was messy and uncertain. Through distortion, angst, and Cobain's haunting voice, Nirvana showed the world that vulnerability could be powerful, and that music could be both a scream and a comfort. The Beach Boys, emerging from 1960s California, became the ultimate soundtrack of sun, surf, and youthful freedom. With their tight harmonies and innovative studio techniques, they captured the optimism and carefree spirit of the American West Coast, even as the world was changing around them. Their top 3 iconic songs include Good Vibrations, a masterpiece of sound and emotion. This song celebrates the joy of love and the euphoric energy of life itself. Its layered production pushed the boundaries of pop music, teaching listeners that music could be an immersive, almost magical experience. Surfin' USA, a playful anthem that glorifies surfing culture and teenage fun. Beyond the waves, it conveyed a sense of community, youth rebellion, and the irresistible pull of adventure. Wouldn't It Be Nice? A tender ode to young love and dreaming about a brighter future. Its hopeful lyrics and lush harmonies gave listeners a sense of longing, innocence, and the beauty of human connection. The Beach Boys' music radiated sunshine, innocence, and the thrill of endless summer. They didn't just sing about beaches and cars, they taught the world how to feel the exhilaration of youth, the sweetness of nostalgia, and the magic of harmony, both musical and emotional. The Eagles were one of America's most iconic rock bands, blending country warmth with rock's edge to capture the spirit of the 1970s. Their music was a reflection of freedom, wanderlust, and the search for meaning in a changing world. Top 3 songs. 1. Hotel California, a haunting tale wrapped in beautiful guitar work. It symbolized excess, temptation, and the dark side of the American dream. For listeners, it was both enchanting and unsettling, a mirror of a glamorous yet hollow lifestyle. 2. Take It Easy, a breezy anthem about letting go of worries and embracing life's journey. It became a soundtrack for open highways and youthful freedom, reminding people not to carry life's burdens too heavily. 3. Desperado, a soulful ballad about loneliness and vulnerability. It urged people to open their hearts before it's too late. For many, it was a gentle call to stop running and seek love and connection. The Eagles' music spoke of freedom, longing, and the hidden costs of chasing dreams. To the world, their songs were both comfort and caution, a reminder that life's beauty lies in balance between chasing the horizon and staying true to oneself. Metallica, formed in 1981 in Los Angeles, is one of the most influential heavy metal bands in history. Known for their aggressive riffs, thunderous drumming, and thought-provoking lyrics, they brought a raw intensity that reshaped rock music. Their sound blends speed, precision, and emotion, often tackling themes of personal struggle, society, and inner darkness. Among their top songs, Enter Sandman is a haunting exploration of fear and nightmares, reflecting the anxieties that lurk in our subconscious. Master of Puppets dives into addiction and control, showing how power or dependence can manipulate lives. One tells the story of a soldier trapped in his own body after war injuries, a powerful plea for empathy and the tragedy of conflict. Metallica's music teaches listeners about resilience, confronting inner demons, and questioning authority. They invite the world to face darkness with honesty, transforming personal struggles into a collective catharsis through the thunder of their guitars. Their legacy is not just in riffs, but in courage, encouraging millions to feel deeply and live boldly.